I'm going to read The Shoe by Pyle Hazard. We all know the story of the little old woman that lived in the shoe. She had so many children that she didn't know what to do from our childhood. I think it's time to tell you the truth since you've grown up now. The truth may surprise you, but it may amaze you at the same time. You really never know what kind of truth is behind the story until the truth needs to be told. In most fairy tales, Mother Goose is almost always the one in charge. The truth is, Mother Goose was a businesswoman that suffered from a chronic sinus infection. When she would talk to you, she would start coughing, which almost made a honking sound. She coughed so much that you knew she was coming down the street, so you knew the rent was due. One of her least favorite buildings, the Shoe, held the business she despised most, ran by the little old lady. She really thought this business was a thorn in her side. One day, as she walked through the doors of the Shoe, she saw the older but still very attractive little old lady. Even though she had so much beauty on her yet, you could clearly tell that she had put her body through years of abuse. There was no drugs in this type of abuse. Many were impressed to find out that she was 80 years old, but clearly her beauty brought her back to her 50s. On this day, she was very, very energetic to talk to Mother Goose. Mother Goose started hacking and coughing and said the rent was due, and she would not take any other favors or offers to exchange from the money that was owed her. The little old lady smiled with such a face that it actually shocked Mother Goose. The little old lady said, "Here's all the money I owe you, and including a little extra, and I do hope you get to see the doctor that may be able to finally get your sinus infection under control." As the little old lady and Mother Goose conduct their business, the front door of the Shoe opens for Snow White to walk in quickly. She begs for forgiveness as she interrupts, putting down a gigantic stack of money on the front welcome desk. "Please forgive me for interrupting, but here's the collection money, and I ask that you clear my schedule for the rest of the day because after this activity, I'm sure I'm going to take a long slumber," she asks in a rush. After she finishes her comment, the door once again opens. Sure enough, the 7 dwarves, all with giant grins on their faces, walk in. 6 out of the 7 throw coins on the table to tip the little old lady, but the 8th dwarf, Purry, didn't just throw a couple of coins up there. As he was holding the camera with the biggest grin of them all, out of them all, he threw a whole bag of coins and said, "You may be making money off me now, but with this here camera, I'll be making money off of everyone." The ladies watch as they go down the hall to Snow White's room. Down the stairs comes a smaller girl with a wonderfully positive attitude and a bowl of curds and whey. She asks if either the little old lady or the Mother Goose would like to have anything to eat. She explains, "I have to eat now, or otherwise I will not be able to have the energy for the appointment later." Without a doubt, this lovely lady has the biggest rump of them all. As she walks, she can't help but shake it to the left and quickly shake it to the right. The little old lady says, "Miss Muffet, your appointment with that very interesting gentleman that goes by the Spider is around 4 o'clock this afternoon." Miss Muffet, with a giant smile, looks her in the eyes and nods her head. Mother Goose asks, "Is that Spider gentleman the extremely tall gentleman that always wears a black suit with a little red bow tie?" The little old lady confirms and says that Miss Muffet is the only one that piques his interest. The Spider has an opportunity to ask anyone to do anything with him, but he will not engage with anyone other than Miss Muffet. I'm sure it has everything to do with her big cheeks. He claims that she has accidentally ran into him and she means truly, ran into him. She was in a quick hurry, and she was turning into a store in hopes to buy some new lingerie. When she turned right, her ass went left and absolutely sideswiped her. She didn't get him to turn his attention. She turned his entire body so it would be focused down the middle of her back. After that, he could not just ignore the desirable picture he had just seen. He waited for her to come out of the store for over an hour. In the spirit of a true gentleman, he asked for her name when she came out, apologized for accidentally running into her when it was totally the opposite. He asked if she was alone, and she informed him that it probably wouldn't work out because this kind of encounter usually ends badly unless they're willing to open up their wallets. Before there could be any discussion, she found herself with $100 instantly. Smiling at her, all he could say was, "Negotiating is now over. Let's open up your appointment book." Mother Goose was so shocked to hear this. Some might believe that Mother Goose was in full knowledge of knowing what was going on at the shoe, but the look she gave the little old lady spoke otherwise. As Mother Goose started hacking and coughing and trying to get the words prepared to speak, she was interrupted. A door quickly opens and a beautiful brunette walks in and asks for forgiveness for the rude interruption. She politely bends at her knees as she begs for forgiveness in the most polite way, picking up her dress a little bit. She looks at Mother Goose and says, "Hello there. I assume that you are Mother Goose?" With a beautiful smile on her face, she introduces herself as Belle, a very stunning brunette that had pure manners, and you would think that she was truly one of the best-kept secrets at the shoe. The little old lady says hello to Belle and asks if she's got everything set up in the basement for her appointment. Belle smiles with such a beautiful face. "I do," said Belle, as she had a wonderful smile and looks down at the floor just slightly to raise her eyes up and asks a question. "Has that beast of a man come in yet?" She listens intently with an impatient grin slowly creeping across her lips. Picking up her head, she moves her hair back until all her hair is behind her neck. A very noticeable red rose designed choker shows around her neck. She asked the little old lady, "Would you be very kind to make sure to tell me as soon as the beast shows up?" Mother Goose can't handle it anymore and finally asks a question as she is fearful of hearing the answer. "What will you and the beast be doing, may I ask?" Belle smiles ear to ear with the most amazing and passionate smile. "I'm sure the beast will be so happy to walk down the steps into the basement that we call the dungeon. I'm sure it will not take much effort for him to take the chains and wrap them around my wrists." Mother Goose's eyes instantly pop wide open with disbelief, but deep down she knew. Belle continues saying, "The beast pays good money to have his way. This 6'3" man is truly the beast, and as he takes off his shirt, you can clearly see how toned his body is, and that he has a scrumptious beard. But that doesn't matter, because what he's going to do to me, people would just absolutely pay good money to read about it in a book." Mother Goose has had enough at this point, as she doesn't know how she truly feels about knowing such things from other girls. But these girls and Mother Goose have such an age gap. She could only remember what used to happen when she had felt those kind of feelings. But that time has come and gone. She clearly could not even possibly think about such things at her age. Belle looked at her and says that the beast comes and goes after the playtime is over. As she smiles seductively at Mother Goose, she says, "I would be more than happy to put you on my schedule for a free event if you want it." Mother Goose doesn't know if this has crossed the line or if she should be flattered. The mix of emotions confuses her. She looks over at the little old lady laughing so hard she is about to fall off of her chair behind the welcome desk. It is very apparent. The little old lady can read Mother Goose's confusion of emotions. The little old lady absolutely takes this opportunity to ask a question. Sweet Mother Goose, have you figured it out? Mother Goose's face turned puzzled. The next words from the little old lady that worked at the shoe will never be forgotten by Mother Goose. I'm the little old lady that works at the shoe. I have so many lovely ladies I don't know what to do. You can pay the price that we feel is fair, or you can be like the people on the street and smile while you just stare. She lasciviously grins. Mother Goose starts looking around at all the lovely ladies. There was one beautiful redhead singing like a siren as she was looking for a sailor. The three men that were in the welcome room were not sailors, but she still wanted to entertain them until she took her leave. She smiles bubbly at the little old lady. I'm going to go have a bubble bath. As she goes up the left side of the dual stairs, most beautiful brunette is watching as she leaves. You know there's always one girl that no one knows how to talk about or quite how to explain. This was the most beautiful woman out of all of the women at the shoe. She had the softest skin and the most wavy brown hair. Every other woman was absolutely amazed and jealous of her, but they never let their jealousy destroy what they had with their clients. Her beauty was so breathtaking that it was truly saved for the special clientele. This was the one that everybody wished that they could be with, but understood why the chances of them being with her were so slim to none. It was not very often that she would come out of her special section of the building. Men that never even saw her would whisper secrets that she was a true witch and could cast a spell on anyone. Even Mother Goose has only heard whispers about such a beautiful woman that was locked away. Today was the day that she came out and greeted Mother Goose. She didn't say anything as she glided down the steps with a faint smile. The three men that were sitting in the welcome room instantly lost their breath. Truly, they didn't know what to do in her presence. This was a true beauty at its finest. Everything about her as she glided down the steps set a chill down every man's spine and absolutely made the woman question their desires. The clothes that she wore were light in fabric, with some of it almost purely see-through. As it fits loose enough, but in the same sense, you were able to see every curve of how her body was designed. The only words that could be said were pure masterpiece. Standing at a beautiful 5'9", some may consider her on the taller side. She truly was something to be yearned for. The very lacy lingerie that she wore showed off every curve in the most proper way. Many men would absolutely think that they were having the luckiest day just to see her walk past, but these three men got an opportunity to see her in the light of day walk right past them. She did not speak a single word as three men had fixated eyes locked on her, looking her up and down. As she walked by, they felt a cold chill come over them, almost to calm them down, knowing that they were not the lucky ones that she had come downstairs for. As she walked up to the little old lady, she slowly bent down with such grace to whisper something in the little old lady's ear. The only words that were heard from the little old lady were, "I see," as she looked at her inquisitively. This beautiful woman looked at Mother Goose. She stood back up, lowering her head and looking a little bit upwards. Pressing her hands together, she bowed in front of Mother Goose, still saying nothing. Mother Goose could absolutely feel such an exotic feeling coming over her as this true beauty of a woman stood straight back up, giving her such a beautiful smile. Mother Goose was admiring the curves on this beautiful creature, almost as much as the gentleman as she walked by them in the waiting room. She turned to walk away. As she turned to walk away, Mother Goose got such a glimpse of the beautiful body style this woman had been given. Mother Goose cried out, "Wait, were you crafted by God?" Sorry, a God. The beauty turned, looked at her, smiled once again as she turned her head. The beautiful hair almost seemed to turn in a way that almost braided her hair for her. There was something truly magical about her. The firm, toned body that she possessed, to the structural, almost crafted styles of her chest, could not be natural to many people's eyes. But there she stood with beautiful and natural hair, or natural color and skin. Sorry. There was no need for any type of makeup. It was almost like she had learned everything she needed to from a chameleon on how to change her skin tone to please the ones around her. As she slowly walked back to the steps, the men once again got an opportunity to take one last good look at her. One of the men, named Peter, that was known for his pumpkin patches, instantly could not control his excitement as she walked by, smiling at him one last time. He quickly had a look of panic on his face. Truly, what had happened he did not want to admit. Walking stiffly up to the little old lady, he stuttered as he told her he would have to cancel his appointment and come back another day because he felt he was no longer up to being with one of the ladies on the schedule. The other two gentlemen knew exactly what had happened to him, and they too were about ready to burst. As she got to the top of the stairs, before she turned to go down the hallway, she looked at both the other gentlemen and waved their hands. They both were almost in a trance, just staring at her to admire her beauty. Suddenly a smell they both smelt at the same time came across them. They both knew it was the smell of her skin going across their nose, even though she was now on the second floor. Instantly, both of them burst at the seams, and they too had to go talk to the little old lady at the front desk, and also canceled their appointments. Even though they did not make the appointment with this absolute beautiful woman that now stands at the top of the stairs, they paid their money that they intended on paying for their appointments to the little old lady so she could pay this in interest. At the sight of these men stopping at the desk and paying their money to the little old lady, the most beautiful woman that now stands at the top of the steps over the balcony could not do anything but have a small giggle leave her lips. The sound that came from her was such an erotic sound that everyone in the building all gave out a single gigantic moan. This is not the first time that she accidentally induced a group orgasm for everyone in the building, and it was her mistake. After all, the sound that escaped her lips, she realized what had happened. She instantly put two fingers on her mouth with her eyes smiling. Looking down from the balcony, she looked in the direction of the welcome desk where the little old lady was laughing so hard. Mother Goose stood there with her legs slamming together as tightly as she could, legs shaking. This was truly Mother Goose's most powerful orgasm that was caused by a simple little giggle of a laugh. The love and passion that ran through Mother Goose could not be held in anymore. Mother Goose let out the biggest moan of anyone in the building as she could not contain the feeling inside her. She was amazed that just the sound of this woman's voice could do such a thing. Mother Goose, who had not done anything in this manner for so long, relived every experience of sexual pleasure instantly, but could not find any type of compliment to the feeling she had just had thrusted upon her. After the feeling subsided, she started collecting her composure, knowing that it had not gone unnoticed. Still shaking a little bit, she looked at the beauty on top of the staircase and noticed that her hair color was slowly changing. She watched in amazement as a sexual lust came over her as the girl's hair changed from a brunette to snow white. with a little bit of a frosted blue tint in it. Even her hair was growing shorter as she watched. The most beautiful woman with the most beautiful voice, with the most sexual smell, turned her head, then slowly turned her body to walk down the hallway of the second level. Mother Goose stood there and watched it every last second until she was out of sight. All she could do was drop her eyes down to look across the welcoming dusk at the little old lady who was now in such an outroar of laughter. Such a fit of laughter was uncontrollable. She slowly got her composure back, but not all of it, just to say, "I think we need a mop." Mother Goose was shocked at that comment, but she knew exactly what was meant by that. As much as Mother Goose had tried to control her body during the whole time, she was not able. And she agreed that having a mop and bucket to clean up the mess that had been dripping from her since the beauty from her since the beauty's giggle. Such a racket coming from the second story and many rooms from the first story, and even sounds of anger coming from the basement, were soon heard. A flow of people, guests and entertainers, came to the welcome desk. Some men and some women had big smiles on their faces as they were talking about what had happened and how that was the best experience of their lives. But others were coming from the women that worked at the shoe, and the hatred towards the girl that had accidentally giggled was heard. One of the girls screamed, "Charlotte did it again, and somebody needs to put a ball gag in that mouth of hers." A silver-haired, shorter woman in a pink teddy said angrily. Another screamed, "She is truly bad for business." And the combination of everybody screaming to try and get their point across. The little old lady yelled, "Please stop and we'll get this sorted out." Mother Goose looked at everybody and could not say a word to anyone, knowing what she was still standing in. She now had a name, Shyla, ringing in her head. Finally, one of the girls looked over at Mother Goose and realized that Mother Goose was embarrassed. She asked Mother Goose, "Are you okay?" Mother Goose looked at the little old lady, took a stack of money and stuck it on the table, slowly pushing it towards the little old lady. The little old lady looked puzzled and certainly confused about the whole situation that she was experiencing. Mother Goose told her, "You can take out whatever percentage you need, but the rest of it goes to Shyla." The little old lady accepted the money, but was still really confused. No one dared say a single thing to Mother Goose because she controlled most of the buildings in town. Mother Goose told everybody, "Thank you for your wonderful hospitality. I will take my leave." The flowing dress that Mother Goose was wearing at one time now looked like she had been wrestling with someone in a haymow. Her hair that was perfectly done now looked like she had slept with someone. The little old lady smiled from ear to ear with the biggest grin she could ever have. Many years have passed now, and Mother Goose still claims the name, but does not cough and hack. Newcomers to Storytown are encouraged to stop by the shoe and talk to the little old lady. It took a while, but people started coming to Storytown because of the story of the little old lady that lives in the shoe who had so many children she didn't know what to do. None of them could ever imagine what they would find when they opened the doors. Will they be taken down to the basement and find their pleasure in the dungeon? Would they be taken to the pool or the hot springs on the first floor? Perhaps you want your memories to be more like a fairy tale and you choose to go to the second floor. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to meet the one they say is locked in the tower on the third floor. No matter what, a lot of fairy tales are cover-ups from this place. I hear they're adding a new section for the teddy bears to have a picnic. No matter what your fantasy is, I'm sure that someone would love to bring it to life for you, if only you walk in the doors of the little old lady's shoe.
Conversation about the shoe, Pal's story, and everybody gets to ask questions to Pile.
Hi.
Okay. Hi. So, what gave you the inspiration for the shoe?
My inspiration for the shoe was when it came up that we should pick something. It was just, you know what? Everybody knows the story of the little old lady that lives in the shoe, but I wanted to put on a twist of why she had so many children she didn't know what to do.
Makes sense.
So, what was your favorite character intro in the story?
I would have to say the favorite character was my interpretation of Mother Goose.
Patty, did you have questions or
What was your inspiration for the setting? Your inspiration for the story, you've explained, but what was your inspiration for the setting of the story?
So there's a anime I really like, and the main character is basically basically the main character of this anime grew up in a brothel setting, so it was kind of like really interesting of me being able to take one of the animes I really like watching and being able to throw this into it.
Out of curiosity, what's the name of the anime? Because I may have seen it.
That's the bad thing. I know I know the setting, but I can't tell you what the anime name is just because I'm really terrible at it.
Lolly, did you have questions too?
I didn't have any questions.
I don't even know she knows anything about the book.
I've read it. It's been a while.
Okay, what is the one thing you hope everybody takes away from the story?
Probably as you get older, the stories that we know as our childhood memory cores are usually not exactly what we do as adults. And it's kind of nice to put a adult twist on a lot of different stories that we all have heard, we all know. It's just another opportunity for you to kind of move your mind in a different direction.
That is awesome.
Agreed.
Is this going to be a standalone, or in the future are you hoping to write more of the fairy tales into their own stories?
As my daughter gets older, there might be a time that I take some of her stories that she's been able to know and kind of put my own twist on them. But I'm more along the lines of the kid with that likes the shiny coin. As long as it's shiny, it grabs my attention.
So you are ADD incarnate.
Yeah.
ADHD 100%, yes. Ooh, look, it's shiny.
What are you working on now?
I'm trying to finish up a story dealing with a bar, and it's got a pirate theme to it. But this, as I've went back through and been able to look at what I wrote, it actually started kind of pulling my own heartstrings because I know that place, and the place is something from my childhood that I've been able to rework into making it into a story.
Neat.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell us about the story?
You never know who you're going to find when you walk down a street. And it just might absolutely take your breath away or just knock you totally on your rear when somebody hits you. Some people just like different types of people.
Fair enough.
Okay. I guess that is awesome. Did you have any more questions, Patty? Did you
No, I
think
think that answered all of mine.
Did you think of any, Lolly?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you all for coming to this part of the Into the Fae Woods release event. And we hope you have enjoyed the stories, and we hope you have enjoyed the creator's insight into his own story. I look forward to more of his, and I look forward to more of Lolly's art, and I look forward to more of Patricia and Serena's art and writings, and I hope you guys enjoy mine too. Please check out the book. There will be links below or above, wherever links go, and I hope you guys have the best evening ever or day.